please join me in welcoming both Paul and Alan Joyce to the stage.
Fabulous. We've just had the pleasure of Alan Joyce addressing over 400 people at the Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre. Alan, an interview that went for well over 45 minutes, covered a range of areas as we're coming out of COVID. A couple of things that stood out for me. The first is leaders show up when a crisis is there, and we've been in the biggest crisis for 2.5 years. Your voice through this has been important. What did you learn about leadership through the last 2.5 years?
Well, Paul, and thank you for the event. It was a phenomenal event, and your questions were fantastic, and it kept the audience engaged. But over the last 2 years, I think a couple of things to me that were really key. The first thing, I think, was making sure that you were authentic. I always do believe that the best leaders are people that say it as they see it. Sometimes it might have got me in trouble, but it was the right thing to do. I think it's having an amazing team around you and give them the ability to get things done. There was so many things at Qantas that needed to be done, and having a team that are humble people, that are willing to question, willing to do, ask the right things, and are figuring out what they needed to do was good. And then the third thing, and as a quote from Teddy Roosevelt I use quite a bit all the way through this, because we had to move fast, and Teddy Roosevelt says that at the time of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing you can do is the wrong thing. The worst thing you can do is nothing. And so there was this fail fast. If it wasn't working, admit it and move on. But that was the only thing that got us through it. We tried all of these new routes. We generated new ideas of changing the way the business worked, and that helped the business get through this crisis.
That art of decision making is so important. So I want to fast forward now. Australians can be a little inward looking, can be a little critical of ourselves at different times, yet we can be laid back and optimistic at other times. You've just come back from Europe. What's the view of Australia, and do you see Australia bouncing back as a destination of choice for internationals?
I do. I'm very optimistic on it. We're already seeing the UK and the US routes get back to pre-COVID levels, and there is this view that Australia is a bit of a safe haven. There's a lot of finance capital that's actually looking at home to put their money, and Australia is seen to be one that is stable. There's not a sovereign risk. We're also seeing people that'll think that this is a great place to go on holidays. We always see the Japanese, as we know, seeking out safe havens during times of crisis. The Americans are a bit like that. We're hearing the US that people are looking, instead of Europe, coming to Australia for the holidays. So I think there's huge opportunity in the next couple of years. The world being an unsettled place, and Qantas being giving you the option to get into one of the most stable countries in the world, I think does help.
The new ad, it's just brilliant, the emotive side of it, but it encapsulates so much of what it's meant for the last 2.5 years. You proud of it?
I'm very proud of it, and I think what you look at is these amazing Australians doing the Australian country proud around the world. The Ash Bartys, the Hugh Jackmans, the Kylies, the Troys, amazing stories, the Adam Goods, amazing stories, amazing success. But there's this, the song itself is about the discovery and the excitement of seeing the world, but always wanting to come home. Now, we couldn't launch that ad. It's been in the can since 2019.
No way.
Yeah, but we couldn't launch it until we were all together once more, as the song says. Yeah. And until Perth opened up, we said it's not appropriate. And until we could get the entire country united again, and then it's the right ad at the right time, because the country is unified again. And I think it adds that amazing amount of excitement and that amazing emotion of people reuniting.
We are united again, and you've been a unifying voice throughout the crisis. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your address at the Victorian Chamber of Commerce and Industry today, and importantly, thank you for being in Melbourne with us.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. Thanks for your hospitality.
Thanks, Alan.